Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys. Monday, March 24th, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Perlo back in the house with us on this Monday, where we have a four-game slate, but a very interesting four-game slate, and we've got games that certainly matter on this four-game slate. We've got teams galore that are battling for their playoff lives, battling for their season right now, so excited to talk about the four-game slate in just a moment. Before we recap Sunday, we do want to remind you right away, right off the hop, that our next betcast tomorrow night coming your way, Patreon exclusive. So the only way to tune in and watch the betcast and join us on the stream is to be a Patreon member. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, March 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us. It's a great Tuesday night card. We start with some pretty good games early. Montreal-St. Louis is a huge game on the slate tomorrow. We've got a battle of the teams that have a chance to win the President's Trophy, Washington and Winnipeg. Tomorrow night, that's a great game. You've got the Rangers and the Kings in the late night hours, so it's a solid Tuesday night slate. Make sure you join us for it, 7 p.m. Eastern, Patreon exclusive live betcast, and to be there, you must be a Patreon member, so make sure you sign up before tomorrow night, $10 per month. You get all the exclusive bonus content as well, plus access to that live betcast, $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys. Yesterday was a very entertaining day of hockey once again. It started with the Buffalo Sabres, 5-3 against Winnipeg. And look, the door was open potentially for the Buffalo Sabres here in this game once it was announced that Eric Comrie would be in net. He gives up 4 goals on 16 shots. A 25% of your shots that you face go in the net is not a good sign for your chances of winning. And we obviously saw that with Eric Comrie. And James Reimer, we figured, veteran goalie. He's been backup mostly now for several years, but figured he'd get amped up to play in his home province in Manitoba, and certainly in close to home. And he played a heck of a game yesterday for the Buffalo Sabres. They got badly outshot, badly outchanced, 36-17 Jets. But all that matters is the final score, 5-3 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. A big underdog cash is there in the plus 280 range there in that game. Peterka, Dahlin, Kozak, Tuck, McLeod, 5 different goal scorers for Buffalo as well in that game. And they're leaking a little bit, Winnipeg. Whether it's the malaise of coasting in the Central Division like they are first place, this is not a team I'm looking to bet unless I have a good reason at the moment. They're kind of like going through the motions. Like I said, a malaise has set in on this Winnipeg Jets team right now. So I'm going to need good reason to back them because they're always going to be expensive, as far as backing them down the stretch. Like I said, they're prone right now to games like that. They've been flirting with a game like that, losing to a weaker foe. Because the Edmonton game without Leon and Connor, and they barely escaped with a win. They almost lost to Seattle recently, where they fell behind early and they rescued it with an overtime win. This is not a team playing 60 minutes of hockey right now. And that's what you got to be concerned about if you're going to bet Winnipeg. What a crazy-ass game in Chicago. My goodness, fun game. The only thing I was upset about was, why I didn't bet the over? Because this fits the over prototype for me perfectly. 2 teams not going anywhere, roll the puck out, score goals, no defense, is that the under had been dominant head-to-head between the Flyers and the Blackhawks prior to yesterday. But it was a goal explosion, 7-4, and finally Chicago emerged as someone had to play some defense finally, and the Blackhawks were able to put up a goose egg in the third period, shutting down the Flyers in that game. But it was just a wild game, sloppy as fuck, turnovers galore, breakdowns galore. Fedotov got lit up for 7 goals on 29 shots. It was a struggle early for Spencer Knight and the Chicago defense, but they collectively tightened it up and ended up getting the 7-4 win there over the Philadelphia Flyers, making us happy. We like the Blackhawks there as a live home dog, and they were able to get the job done in that game. Great spot to back Chicago, and it was nice to see them reward us in that game. Florida, they were horrible in the first period. Absolutely awful. They were down 2-1. It could have been worse. 17-4 were the shots in favor of Pittsburgh. What a goal. One hand on the stick by Brian Rust, too, at the end of that first period. Phenomenal goal that he scored. But Florida did get stronger as the game went on, and good teams, when they don't have their A game, find ways to win. Florida did that. They came back. They tied it in the third. Great for us. We like the draw. Plus 370 on that draw. Penguins and Panthers yesterday, and Florida gets the 4-3 win. In a shootout, coming back to beat the Penguins. So a big 2 points for them in that one, even though they didn't play their best. Best bet winner for me, St. Louis team total, over 3.5. What a price. I can't believe it was plus 135, quite honestly. It was a great price on that Blues team total, over 3.5. They put up a 4 spot on Nashville as expected, and a nice 4-1 win for the Predators. Gosh, this St. Louis team is scary right now. They're playing very well. Binnington's got his confidence back. They're getting everybody contributing offensively. One night it's Kyrou. One night it's Braden Shen. He scores 2 last night. One night it can be our boy Holloway. A Bull Duke can step up. Neighbors. I mean, you name it. I mean, it's a fun team to watch right now. They're playing with great confidence, outstanding coaching job to turn this shit around from Jim Montgomery here with this Blues team. Just outstanding work by them. 4-1. They beat Nashville for the second. No leads here. They put their foot off the gas against a weaker foe. St. Louis gets the job done against Nashville, as they should have, 4-1. We split the over by Fecta, but best bet with the Blues team total over cashes, which was great. This I was not expecting. Tampa Bay to be down 3-0 after the first period to Vegas, but that's troubling, because they lost to Utah the night before. Bounce back spot. They had played well against Vegas, but not last night. 4-2 Vegas. Now, Tampa Bay did come on after that rough first period. 24-17 were the shots. Let's give Ilya Samsonov a little credit. One of his best performances of the season. 2 goals allowed on 37 shots. Tampa made a push, but it was not enough. Vegas iced it into the empty netter. And thank you, Nikita Kucherov, at the end for making it 4-2. Saved me a push with the full game over in that game last night. So that was great to see that. But 4-2 for Vegas last night. Very nice homestand so far for the Golden Knights, pounding the Bruins, pounding the Red Wings, and then a very nice win against the Lightning last night. Carolina 5-2 against Anaheim. Strong bounce back from them after the debacle in LA. My man from my hometown here got it done, or got the first goal, Mark Jankowski. It's crazy how well he's playing for the Hurricanes. But they win 5-2. How about a 4-goal night for Taylor Hall with the Carolina Hurricanes last night? 4 goals, all of them in the third period. He gets 4 of the 5 Carolina goals last night. A 5-2 win for the Hurricanes. We lose the first period, Carolina bets, but we do cash the team total over for the full game. Alex had that as well. So Carolina does respond after the bad game in LA, beating Anaheim 5-2. And then Boston, LA, which I wasn't expecting to say much about this game coming into this show. 7-2 LA, as Boston's just horrible at the moment. They give up 7. The referees need to stop denying us a goaltender fight. Enough is enough. They did this with Binnington and Fleury in a Minnesota-St. Louis game, and there it was last night. Husnudinov was getting into it at the other end of the ice with Kemper, and apparently that set Swayman off. Didn't like it. Stay away from one of my teammates. Went to center ice to challenge him. Kemper responded, accepted the challenge, and they were ready. They were ready to go, and unfortunately the refs and linesmen were not ready for them to go. Very disappointing. It's just one of these deals where let them get it out of their system. People want to see it. And if the goalies are okay with getting involved in a fight, let them go at it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, once again, we are denied of it. Here's a very funny thing about that whole incident. Nikita Zadorov was asked about it after the game, and he said apparently that Swayman was not happy with some of the shit that was going on down at the other ice. Oh, was that it? I didn't really know what that was about. Next question. I don't think Bruins players are that thrilled about Swayman at the moment. I don't think they're thrilled he sat out. I don't think they're thrilled he missed training camp to get the money, the big contract, and I certainly don't think they're thrilled about his performance this year for this team, considering he sat out, considering he missed training camp, demanded the contract he got, only to have an abysmal season, really. He has not played well for the Boston Bruins, and I think there's a little bit of a rift in that dressing room. If I'm reading between the lines of Zadorov's post-game remarks last night, there's a little bit of a rift with Swayman and his teammates right now. Not the harmony that that they've had previously. Remember when Swayman and Allmark, when he was with the team, were always hugging after the game and everything was so great? Not so much. It looks like there's a bit of an icy, strained relationship right now, Swayman and the rest of the Bruins. And that's what I gathered from those eerie, cryptic remarks and comments from Nikita Zadorov after the game last night. Alex, your thoughts on a pretty crazy Sunday?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for like I say, usually Sundays are kind of dull and boring in the NHL, but no, it certainly wasn't the case yesterday with a lot of day games. Obviously, that Hawks Flyers game, that was a fun one. And I said in the chat as the goals were piling up, I said, watch the Hawks get 10 fucking goals, and none of them come from Ilya Mikheyev, who was my bargain bin selection. He did have a couple of great chances in the game though. And like I said, that was just a slam dunk spot to bet the Hawks, especially off of the loss against St. Louis, a game where they played well. Philly now 1-11 on the second leg of back-to-back, something to keep note. I think they have 1 or 2 more left moving forward in the rest of the season. So that was a nice cash with the plus money with the Hawks at home. Grabbed the first period over with Nashville, St. Louis, cashed that along with the team total. That was a great result and just a fun game to watch as well. He said did come short though, that over 5.5. And then he said the goals in Tampa Bay. They said needed that last goal. Sometimes we're looking for that to cash our over, but it's nice to get them sometimes to save us from losing one. So it was nice to push on that last goal with Kucherov, but getting the first period over in that one as well. So first period overs have been hot. The draws have been coming back. Draw season is fully among us as we head down the stretch into the playoffs, and it certainly will be the theme for tonight as well.
No doubt, no doubt. Jimmy Murphy, by the way, we want him back on the show. We're going to try hard. He's busy as fuck right now because he's got the show with Pierre 5 days a week, the eye test. And the one thing I said to Jimmy is we got to start getting you on when you can be at home, ready to go. You're not running around because, like, I would say the last 7 or 8 straight times Jimmy Murphy's been on the show, he's been driving at the time in his car, and his reception's cutting in and out. And, it's just, it doesn't make, it's just not good for the show. You know what I mean? Especially if you're listening on the podcast when, we're
Sure.
trying to have Jimmy on and it's cutting out and is in his car and his Wi-Fi reception's going in and out. So that's why Jimmy hasn't been on as much lately, but we're going to try certainly when the playoffs are going on to get Jimmy back. There's no issues. People are asking, you got a problem with, no, we don't. Absolutely not. Jimmy's always one of us. He's one of the Ice Guys family for life. It's just he's busy with the show with Pierre and other stuff he's got going on. And like I said, we want to make sure we can get him on the show when he's home and he's, and there's no reception issues and he's not running around running errands and taking care of Maddie, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
I'll just keep in mind too, Jimmy and Pierre are super busy this time of a month in March with all the college.
You see what they're doing? Yeah, they're running around, bouncing around from these college tournaments one to the next.
So they're already in playoff mode, and then have to go into NHL playoff mode right after it. So it's a little different for those guys.
Yeah, no issues with Jimmy. He's a great dude. We love him, and we'll definitely try to get him back on. Certainly when the playoffs roll around. Perlo, your thoughts on yesterday?
Well, I'll talk about the one we're on the opposite side of. I was on Vegas yesterday. This is the time of year when Vegas starts to take things seriously, and I am not on Tampa Bay this year. I don't think they're winning in the first round. They're getting a little older. It's you got Hedman there. It's maybe they're just getting stale and they'll turn it on. But this is usually the time when Tampa starts turning it on, and I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. So I did have Vegas. I was with you. I had more on the over than anything, and we got the push on that one. But I'm on Vegas a lot for the going down the stretch here. I'm going to be on Vegas quite a bit. What bugs me? Well, not bugs me, but I was listening to the show yesterday, and you guys mentioned Reimer from Manitoba. And when you said that, I already had Winnipeg all day on that game. And I was like, I'm not going to win it. Reimer with his family there and everything, and it wasn't a great
You pulled the shoot? You got out of it, you mean? Yeah.
Well, no, I'd already bet it. But, so I was kind of like, oh, that's not going to happen. Because Reimer, I forgot all about that. He was from Manitoba. It's not a great spot for Winnipeg. Buffalo actually want to win for him because the guy's the nicest guy in the world, too. Right? So that should have been, but besides that, all the other games I did really well on. It's been a great year for me. So I did something. I think it was more ego driven than anything. I had a little bit on Anaheim yesterday. Carolina had won a lot in a row, and they took a loss. And I know it was a bad loss, and because of that, I could see. But I liked the way Anaheim was playing, and actually Anaheim gave him a good go yesterday. It wasn't like it was a terrible pick, but I only had a smidge on it. I had Anaheim in it, but besides that, those were the only two that I had a difficult time with yesterday. It went really well. I did have the over in the Philly-Chicago game. I just couldn't see those guys playing defensive. I know what the trend was and stuff like that, but I just couldn't see it. It was an opportunity to get their goal scoring going, and so I took the over on that. That was one of my favorite plays. But so it's good to see Chicago score. It was good to see Bedard score. It really was. Like, it's good to see him scoring again. He's obviously, this has been weighing on the kid, man. He's a competitive guy, and I think he's going to be great. Like, people's pooping on Bedard right now.
I hope there's people that look out for him and he can talk to, because you're right. There's been times, especially when they really went through some of these bad skids, Chicago, where he looks depressed and he looks like he's really, struggling with, keeping high spirits. But he's been great as far as what he said about the season in the media. He's been terrific in that regard. He hasn't thrown anybody under the bus. He hasn't, said anything negative about it. And yet he's still trying his best out there. The effort's there still from him. And I think given how trying a season, he's held himself pretty well. He's conducted himself pretty well.
And let's not forget, he's 19 years old on a dog shit hockey team. That's going to be tough for anybody.
Expectations through the roof for himself. Yeah,
exactly. Right. And that's the thing, right? Yeah, not only the pressure of the entire city and that organization on his shoulders, but his own expectations as well. So, he has to kind of, temper those expectations at times. And I think he's done a great job of that. And like I said, he still produced well considering how bad of a team he's been on in each of the last two seasons.
Yeah. Look at the line mates they've been giving him too. Dickinson.
I mean, that's the thing. There's no consistency. The blender, the Anders Sorensen blender, is far crazier than anything we ever saw with Quenneville or Carlton. As far as the Hawks goes, like he can't keep a line straight for a fucking period at this point. I don't
know what he's doing there. He's losing his job.
He doesn't know what he's doing either. That's why he's going to be gone in 11 games.
Yeah, he's losing his job is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's got to go back to the American League. Yeah.
Talk about hard to watch. I had the Kings everything. That was my best play yesterday. I always have the best play on games that nobody cares about. But I like the Kings hardcore there. But talk about hard to watch. Watching Pasternak right now, man, it is hard to watch.
Dude's checked out. I agree with that. I think he's been horrific lately. Horrific.
It's not him. It's understandable. How do you get up for these games right now with the teams he's played with, and Bergeron leaving and Marchand leaving, and oh man, it's really hard to watch. I feel for
I don't blame him at all. It's a tough spot. I cut him some slack anyway. I still think you're one of the veterans, you're one of the leaders. You got to play better. You got to show up every night. But I cut him some slack. All his the players he's grown up with, essentially with the Bruins, they're all gone now for the most part. So it's tough sledding right now for the Boston Bruins, as has certainly got even worse from what we saw Sunday. You thought losing to San Jose was bad, and then you get drilled. I know LA is a good team, especially at home, but absolutely thumped 7-2 last night in that game. So the New Jersey Devils, as we transition to Monday, will be playing their first game since this little episode happened after Saturday night's loss to the Ottawa Senators. We'll roll it right now.
Kovacevic just mentioned to us that he thinks the team kind of needs to have that playoff mentality going down the stretch. Is that something
Kovacevic just needs to play better? That would help.
Hello, Johnny Kovacevic. Meet the bus and meet the man throwing you under it, Sheldon Keefe. Holy shit. Wow. Shots fired. Clearly, Johnny Kovacevic of the New Jersey Devils immediately right in the scope of the rifle being aimed by Sheldon Keefe. Wow. And the Devils are scuffling. We'll see if they can bounce back on Monday and only on Prime. Vancouver and New Jersey. We've got the New Jersey Devils minus 140. Home favorites here, 5.5 the total in this game. And look, this is a situation for New Jersey where, because of situations like injuries to Dougie Hamilton and Jonas Siegenthaler, there's a guy like Johnny Kovacevic that's got to play a lot of more minutes and a lot more responsibility. And he's going to have tough nights. Any defenseman that is kind of out of their element, playing more minutes and more ice time because of injuries, they're going to have tough nights when you're playing against the better players on the other team every night. There's no doubt. There was a time that guy was playing really well earlier this year for the Devils on their blue line. But I think, obviously when you have to play more minutes, you're not going to have great nights all the time. But it was just pretty stunning that Sheldon Keefe was that pointed in the post-game press conference there with those comments directly at Kovacevic. So how does the team respond to that? How does Johnny Kovacevic in particular respond to that? He's not getting benched. He's still in the lineup paired with Brian Dumoulin on the second pairing tonight for New Jersey. Luke Hughes, Brett Pesce, Brendan Dillon, Dennis Chalowski, the rest of the D pairs here for the Devils. We'll see how they respond. If you're the Vancouver Canucks, you're coming into this game where desperation and urgency ramps up even more because you lost in regulation to the New York Rangers on Saturday afternoon. It was just an absolutely brutal loss for the Vancouver Canucks because really that game was won by one man, Igor Shesterkin, on Saturday. The Vancouver Canucks dominated as far as territorial play, shots, chances, but unfortunately, Shesterkin was phenomenal for them. Vancouver was the better team, but unfortunately, they had defensive breakdowns in the third period, and it cost them in that game against the New York Rangers, bad ones. And it kind of, now Lankinen's got to make a save or two, but at the same time, some of those breakdowns were egregious, man. I mean, just, how does Brodzinski end up all alone like that in the slot on the one goal that the Rangers scored in the third period of that game? So we'll see how it plays out. Now, Elliot Friedman reported that Thatcher Demko's nearing a return, and that return could be tonight for the Vancouver Canucks in net. They have not confirmed who their goalie is, and I think it is going to be Demko. If you read the tea leaves, we don't have confirmation yet that Lankinen's in, and that kind of tells me I think they're kind of leaning toward Thatcher Demko's return tonight in this game against the New Jersey Devils to kind of shake things up. Meanwhile, let's talk about the hot mess that is the other goalie on the other side of this matchup, Jacob Markstrom, who is really in one right now as far as his confidence level. 1-5 in the month of March for Jacob Markstrom. .833 save percentage during that time. What has happened to the confidence level of the guy that they thought had solved the goaltending issues for the New Jersey Devils in Jacob Markstrom? And you thought maybe in his last start, you guys, against Calgary, because he's facing his old team, that's going to be the tonic that gets him to play better and play like a vintage Jacob Markstrom. And all he did was give up the big lead 3-1 in the third period. Calgary roars back and wins 5-3. Another loss for Jacob Markstrom. So he is not in great form right now. New Jersey, certainly, how they handle this little Keefe implosion there at the end of the game yesterday or Saturday night publicly is going to be interesting. I think the key thing, too, for New Jersey is, their offense has picked up a little bit, but suddenly, defensively, they've shown some warts. Again, they lose to Ottawa on Saturday night. Not their better defensive game by any stretch. And that was Jake Allen on Saturday night, who's been the better of the two goalies. Devils still not able to win that game. So there's issues. It's a Canucks or pass for me. I'm not laying -140 New Jersey with their state right now, or a goalie that's 1-5 in the calendar month and laying -140 with them. So this is going to be a small Canucks bet here for me at +120. Just small because, look, they play the way they did against the Rangers. I think they're going to win tonight because really that was all Shesterkin just robbing the game for the New York Rangers the other night. So I'm going to sprinkle on the Canucks here, +120. This total has fallen to 5 at a lot of books now. 5 over -130 at Caesars. It's over -126 at 5 at Bet Online, among other spots. At 5, I'm taking over this total. I was not going to bet this total pregame, but now that we've fallen to 5, the last time we saw a 5 was just last week, and it involved the Canucks when they played against the St. Louis Blues, and that game ended 4-3. It ended up going over the total. So I'm going to go with over 5, -126, the best price you can get with that. Little Canucks +120. Jonathan's liking the team total. I don't hate that. Over 2.5 at plus money. How can you trust Markstrom right now? Let me see regarding that team total, Jonathan, that you mentioned liking there with the Vancouver Canucks over 2.5 at plus money. I'm looking at Markstrom. He gave up 4 to Calgary, 6 to Pittsburgh, 3 to Columbus, 6 to Winnipeg, 4 to Dallas. Holy shit, he's given up at least 3 in 5 straight starts. So it may not be all that much to ask for the Vancouver Canucks to get to
Plus
3
money
here
too.
at plus money. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll split it between money line and team total on the Vancouver Canucks. But most of all, I like the draw. I think it's a perfect draw candidate. This is a draw-heavy card for me. Let me put the preamble out there right now. We really like me some draws here on this card. This one makes sense. Vancouver on the west side, New Jersey on the east side. I expect a competitive game. Vancouver went to overtime against the Blues. They went to overtime against almost went to overtime against the Rangers. You look at it, I certainly think this game is going to be one of these deals where it's competitive, it's tight, it's close. New Jersey's not going to care that Vancouver gets a point in this game and vice versa. So the draw I like, one of multiple draws that I like on this short Monday slate. Alex, what do you think here, Vancouver, New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, draw season's in full force, folks. So there will probably be a draw at least 3 of the 4, if not all 4 games tonight in my card. This is one that I like quite a bit. You can get plus 310 at Bet Online and FanDuel. So far, I've looked around; those are the best books so far for draw prices tonight. Like I said, this over 5, and I saw it drop, to 5 minus 125 at one shop. I think at BetMGM, that's where I was able to grab that 125. They said 126 at Bet Online. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's not Luongo and Brodeur in goal. And like you said, you look at the numbers of Markstrom. He's been rough lately. You look at Vancouver. We know the issues they've had at times defensively. I got to go over the 5 and minus 126. But if you like a side, if you take, taking a shot with Vancouver, but BetMGM is your friend, and this number is actually moving. It was plus 200 now. It's plus 195. Canucks to win with over 4.5 goals parlayed. If you think that maybe this game could be a little bit of a defensive stalwart, you can look for one of the sides and go under 6.5 and grab plus money with that as well. So this is a really good game. And if you're looking to, whatever spot you like, whatever spot you feel is comfortable, you should be able to find a good plus price attached to it. But I'm just going with that over 5. Minus 125, and also going with the draw, I got plus 310.
All right, good stuff. Burlo, what about you here, Vancouver, New Jersey?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'll get into what Keefe said. And I'll tell you this right now. Keefe's an idiot. Kovacevic is the best defenseman on their team. He has a .02 goals against percentage, better than any defenseman out there, and all of their players know it. You are an idiot. And you really care about winning this game? Really? You care about winning this game? You're putting Markstrom in this game and you care about winning this game? You're an absolute worst coach in the league by far. And I'll tell you what's going to happen today. They're going to come out and they are not going to be playing for their coach. They're going to be playing for Kovacevic, but they're going to be playing sad because they know that was a stupid thing to do, to call out their best defenseman in public like that. I don't
like coaches doing that to anybody, quite honestly.
And you're not calling out your goaltender Markstrom. I haven't heard of one time. He's been the worst goaltender ever since the break. So I'm going to take Vancouver money line first period. I'm coming off that Rangers game. They're desperate. They need it right now. I think New Jersey's going to come out scared to start this game, and I'm taking Vancouver money line first period. I agree with you with the draw for sure. But I'm leaning more and more Vancouver the more I think about it here. If they put Demko in, I'm a little scared. Then I'm even more on the draw. But Vancouver money line first period is going to be my first play. I think they're going to get lots of shots out there. Without Pettersson and Höglander, there's going to be lines that aren't used to each other, so they're not going to be playing like they normally do in Vancouver. Tocchet doesn't like them just taking shots. He likes them to look for spots, but with this lineup changes, I don't see that happening. I see lots of shots. And one thing Markstrom is his kryptonite is shots. Shots is his kryptonite. So give me Vancouver to score first and Vancouver money line first period. Sorry, I got a little excited there.
That's all right. We love people getting excited.
I think Keefe is an absolute it's horrible. So Vancouver first period, Vancouver take the draw. And it's a 5 with Demko being new and all that kind of stuff like that. I'd probably lean the over as well. I got a couple props here. I take Hronek over assist at plus 190. Anything Besser right now. He's basically hot, and he's the only guy that's going to be shooting out there. and of course Hughes. They're going to be going back to Hughes a lot here in this game without Pettersson and Hoglander in there. So,
Yeah, this is Amazon Prime tonight. This game, Bailey. Yep, that's the Prime game. There's only 3 Prime games left. 4? No, actually 4, because there's 4 Mondays left. So 4 Amazon Prime Monday night games left, and this is the game for tonight.
We didn't mention the second period over too. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching first period over, because New Jersey's
No.
like 10-2 to the first period under. Then their games, that's where the goals have happened.
Yeah, second
and
period
third
over.
period.
Whether
Yeah,
they
and you
live
can get
bet
that-
it or get it.
You can get a pregame minus 122 at over 1.5 at FanDuel. So I will be adding that as well. That's the heavy runs for both teams the second period over. So don't mess around with that one. Grab that pregame at that price. You certainly won't be able to find that in game, especially if you do have where there's already goals in the first period.
Yeah, no doubt. That's got my second period gift and over 1.5 parlay written all over it for me, in that probably in that second period, no doubt. The 2 Devils first period overs were with Markstrom as John. That's the one thing about the first period.
So I had it. I was going to take the under, and I was set only if Allen is in. And knowing Keefe, he's not going to be smart enough to put Allen here. You got Chicago tomorrow. You can put Markstrom in against Chicago next game. Why the hell would you not put?
Makes sense. And let him build his confidence.
Yeah,
you know?
That's
He's
great.
an idiot. Anyways.
It's you know what they're doing. There must be some pressure saying we paid this guy. He's here because we think he's clearly the best goalie we've got on paper. We've got to let him get these big games for us and see if he can work through his struggles.
That's not how you do it.
That's a good point. That's a good point, and that rolls firm with the team we're going to talk about a little bit later too. I believe the same thing's happening somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. I'm going to do something fun, something small here for this game. We're going to do the Hughes Bowl parlay. Now, so of course, there's no Jack Hughes in this version of the Hughes Bowl, but we have Luke and Quinn, the 2 defensemen, 1 on each team. I'm going to do a point parlay for them and a goal parlay for them. Just small bets, just something for some fun. Maybe even an assist parlay too, because I've got the goal parlay, got the point parlay, maybe the assist parlay.
I may go point in this. Yeah, I may go assist.
Yeah.
Or point would probably cover everything, really. But assist seem more likely. So,
yeah, Luke and Quinn Hughes. As far as Brock Besser, I actually not bargain bin worthy, but this guy shows up in big games. He's scored in multiple games now for the Canucks. Brock Besser, so the goal prop for him. I'm liking what that appears to be here for this matchup tonight, Vancouver and New Jersey. You look at the lineup combination. How about Eric Howla? He's with Hischier and Meyer, and don't look now. He's all of a sudden got a little offense to him, and the goals have started to finally come back for Eric Howla for the New Jersey Devils, put up there on the top line. So I think there's great value with Eric Howla for a goal prop tonight for the New Jersey Devils, playing with Hischier and with Meyer, and even with Cody Glass, who's with Nason and Bratt. Cody Glass repair, Cody Glass replace. There's some value there, no doubt. And then on Vancouver, we'll have to wait and see. Pettersson, by the way, and I don't know if Heedle's still out. Pettersson's day-to-day. Now, this is a fucking joke. Pettersson is day-to-day with quote-unquote soreness. The whole league is sore. Every player is feeling sore at this stage of the season with the amount of games that have been played. And obviously, the toll that the schedule has taken on everybody. Everybody's sore. Elias Pettersson, EP40, whatever the fuck you want to be called. You're soft. Get your ass in the lineup. You have 10, 12 games left in the regular season. Play. Play the game. You're getting paid well enough. Play the game. This soft, pansy, no backbone shit from him. Get it out of here. Canucks don't need it. Play. Show some goddamn guts.
Wonder if you sound like Miller right now.
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe
Remember
that's
last
the
year
reason
in
why.
the playoffs? Tocchet kept on saying he's banged. He never said he had a serious injury. He said he had a strain or something. So you got a good point there.
It's ridiculous. And and hockey players are tough as fuck. Not that guy. Soreness? Your team is battling for their lives, for their season, guy.
Yeah.
Get in the lineup. There's no thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
Get in the lineup. Play.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I've had enough of that
Totally
guy.
agree.
Totally had enough. And I know Canucks fans have as well.
Yeah.
All right, Columbus and the New York Islanders next up. We've got the New York Islanders here about minus 130, home favorites, the total 6 here in this game between these two teams. You look at it, and by the way, that fucking guy left in the third period, just took his ball, went home, didn't come back in that Rangers game either. And look at how things, ended in that game. Sick of it. Sick of the bullshit. Sick of him. Sick of his soft pansy attitude. And doing jack squat on the ice for the money he's getting paid. Anyway, Jackets and Islanders. Squadouche from that guy. Anyway, that's enough. Jackets and Islanders. The total is 6 here in this one. So we know the Jackets are struggling, right? It is definitely a leap of faith to back this team right now. They haven't had a good run. There's no question. It's certainly been a struggle at this point in time for Columbus. And it's a combo of things. First of all, I do think there's an element of it's a young group. They're in the pressure cooker of a playoff race for the first time, maybe not handling it very well during this 6-game losing streak. Part of it, too, is the emotion of the season maybe starting to wear on them. They've hit a wall physically, emotionally. This has been a trying season. They have obviously the heartbreaking tragedy of Johnny Gaudreau's passing in the offseason, and I think that's certainly played a part in it, no doubt about it. So they need, at this stage of the season, when you're down and out, and they're not out, they're still very much in the race, but it feels like they're down and out because they've lost 6 in a row. You need something to happen to spark the group. You need something to happen to change the momentum in a positive manner. You need something to happen to turn the tide. And for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the hope tonight is that the return of Sean Monahan will be that spark. That's you can't start a fire without a spark. Bruce Springsteen. They're going to have to hope that Sean Monahan is that spark that lights Columbus up and gets them going. And it very well could. Let's not forget, this is a point-per-game guy, 41 points in 41 games for the Columbus Blue Jackets before his injury. We know he was playing well. He's going to go back to centering the top line and playing on the number 1 power play unit as well. For the Jackets here tonight. And Eric Goodbranson, veteran defenseman, who's limited, but he's good at what he does, and being physical and, blocking shots and trying to be good in his own end. So it kind of feels like Columbus gets a spark from it. And I'll say this about Columbus. There's 2 of the last 3 games. They have shown very real signs of coming out of these doldrums in this losing streak. They lost 2-1 to New Jersey when Jake Allen, who we just talked about, why the hell is he not starting tonight? Jake Allen was phenomenal against Columbus just a few nights ago. 46 shots for the Blue Jackets in that game, and they lost 2-1 to Jake Allen and the New Jersey Devils. They lost 1-0 in overtime. It was a pretty even game to Florida. Could have went either way. They lost 6-3 to Pittsburgh. Tarasov couldn't stop a beach ball, and they had 47 shots in that game. They outplayed Pittsburgh pretty well for most of that game. So there's signs that Columbus is close to finally getting back in the win column. Tonight could be that night. Now, the one thing I am concerned about is, again, the Islanders are playing well right now. 3-1 their last 4 games. The only loss was an overtime loss to the Calgary Flames. They've been scoring quite a bit of late. Bo Horvat, Simon Holmstrom, Noah Dobson's been good from the point as well. Duclair, Lee have chipped in as well, and they're starting to obviously get their offense rolling, which has been a big component, of this little run that the Islanders have put together. But I believe in this kind of intangible here, that the emotions get ratcheted up and just a little positive bounce in the step of the Jackets comes into play tonight with the return of Monahan. So I'm giving them a shot tonight at plus 110, Columbus here in this game. Again, small shot because they've obviously found ways to lose. They've been struggling. But at this price, with the Monahan return, that could fuel them here a little bit. So I will jump in with a little plus 110. This is a draw I love. It goes without saying. Islanders are back in full force. If you look at their recent games, we've seen back-to-back overtime games for the Islanders on this homestand against Montreal and Calgary, 2 teams also battling for playoff positioning, and they went to overtime with both of them. Same situation here, playing a team also battling for playoff positioning and a chance we get this game to go to overtime as well. So I'd like this draw here in this game for sure. Small shot in the Islanders, and I'm going to keep riding the overs with the Islanders. 4 straight overs. The Jackets are certainly on paper a better offensive team. There's no debate with Sean Monahan back in the lineup for them, and he certainly boosts their power play. So Over 6, I like that. You could turn it into an over by Fecta if you want, but I definitely like the full game over more than the first period over here in this game. Again, 4 straight overs for the Islanders, and right now their offense is flowing at this point in time. Alex, what do you think here? Jackets, Islanders.
So I would look for an over in game in this spot. Like I said, maybe not so much with the first period over. This could play like a kind of tight playoff style game early, and then we see goals explode, and then I expect it to kind of tamper down late. So I am on the draw. Please shop around for the best number. I'm seeing a wide variance, but plus 340, 345 is the best prices I'm seeing now. 340 at Bet Online. Where you're seeing 310s and 320s in some of the other domestic books. So shop around for that. But I'll be looking to grab an over in game. Just want to see how the pace of play goes. Loving this draw as well. Of course, you got Islanders. This is a classic draw season spot. So I'm definitely rolling with that.
All right, Perla, what are you liking here? Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders.
Yeah, I said I was off the Blue Jackets a little bit because I thought the Goudreau bump reached its peak at the outdoor game, but Monahan brings it back again to me.
You got to hope this is the emotional bump now. Monahan coming back.
Yeah, this is the emotional back. You think he's coming back and saying, "What are we doing this? Why? How did we get here all year? We're playing. You know who we're playing for? We're playing for each other. We're playing for Johnny, and let's get that energy back in again." He's a leader. He's a vocal leader, and I think that you're right. I think you're going to get a big energy here. This is where I kind of disagree with you guys on the first period over. I like the first period over because if you are going to get a bump like that, if there is going to be excitement and some rah in that dressing room, they're not going to be going, "Yeah, let's go shut down the Islanders." You know, they're going to come out barreling. They're going to want to score.
Right.
So I kind of lean the Columbus Blue Jackets first period money line. The only thing I don't like about that is the Islanders lately have been kicking butt on first periods. But because of that, I like a little bit of both teams to score. I'm going to go the trifecta here. Trifecta. Okay. I'm going to say both teams to score. I think Columbus scores first. New York Islanders wakes up, pushes back. And I do like the over in this one. And I said when Monahan came back, I was taking Columbus. And I'm taking Columbus, and I am all over that draw as well. I would even go 3-3 correct score or 3-3 correct score on that one. I could see that because I do agree with you. I think I actually think it might slow down later because once it starts getting to that draw time, they're not going to want to. They're really going to be much more defensive and not take as many risks because I think they'll want to take the draw. They'll both want to get the draw here. Early, though, I think they both have it in their mind that they want in regulation. But as it gets later in the game, they're not going to want to lose the point. So I could see it being a draw. That's what I see about the game.
That's draw season in a nutshell, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Yeah. No doubt. It's a very fascinating game for sure. And I like Holmstrom again for the Islanders. Bo Horvat, let's give him credit. You know, first when he got there to the Islanders, pretty quiet, but 3 goals for him in the last 2 games, 3-game point streak. So Bo Horvat props clearly. They make some sense here as well. Like I said, Holmstrom's been kind of the player I've been targeting for the Islanders. We'll see how Monahan goes in his first game, in this one. But don't sleep on Adam Fantilli here. Adam Fantilli, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, against the Islanders. I think he's had some success against them previously earlier in the season. But either way, he kind of – now Monahan is back, so he slides down to the second center and maybe feels maybe a little bit more comfortable there. But, yeah, there's definitely one of these deals where I think even though Monahan's back and you want to think, yeah, Monahan props – don't sleep on maybe that second line. Maybe the defense gets loosened up because now there's more focus on Monahan playing on that top line tonight for the Blue Jackets, where he will be alongside Voronkov's on that top line and Kirill Marchenko as well. So maybe that means Jenner, Fantilli, Johnson. Things open up just a little bit for that group tonight. So maybe that second line is the one where the value might be for the Jacket props as well, no doubt. And there you go, Kent Johnson with 3 goals in 4 games against Ilya Sorokin. So he's had success against this goal. Yeah, Elvis Merzlikins and of course Elvis Merzlikins and Ilya Sorokin, your goaltenders, of course, in this game tonight. All right, Minnesota, Dallas. We've got Dallas minus 210 home favorites, 5.5 the total. We're putting Dallas in the drawer for now. That's it. All right, we're going to leave them alone. We're going to let them do their thing, good or bad or indifferent, but we're not backing them at these prices, at least in the near future. That was set up on a silver platter for them against Philadelphia, with Peter DeBoer getting a little upset about how they've just not been playing their best recently. And yes, they had the 2 goals early, but they didn't play good at all, in my opinion, in the second and third period of that game. Philly comes back and ties it, and they need overtime, and a big gaff by Ersson in overtime to set up the Thomas Harley game-winning goal. We're not interested right now in Dallas at minus 210 for the moment. Do we want to take Minnesota, though? They're still banged up. That's the problem. The answer is no there. I don't fully trust the Wild here. Gustafsson and Ottinger, by the way, confirmed in net. Jonas Brodin looked like he might be back, but nope, still out. Shocker. Marcus Foligno still out. Eric Sinek and Kaprizov still out for this team. So still very much banged up. The good news is Marcus Johansson, they do get somebody back. He will play here for the Minnesota Wild tonight in this game. This one is nothing on the side, nothing on the total, but give me another draw. 4 straight Dallas Stars games have gone past regulation. And if you look at Minnesota versus Dallas, also this year, entering tonight's head-to-head matchup, and you look at the fact that back in December in Dallas, these teams played, and it was a 3-2 overtime win for Minnesota. That game would have cashed the draw. They played back in Minnesota in November. That game did not go to overtime, but it almost did. Dallas with a 2-1 win in that game. So I think this is a perfect draw candidate. Minnesota looking for every point they can get. Dallas is not playing well enough to win by margin at the moment, and clearly that was on display against Philadelphia on Saturday afternoon. Think about that. The same Philly team that Chicago pulverized yesterday 7-4. And here's Dallas needing to go to overtime with them on Saturday in a game where the coach called them out prior to it. So the draw for me is the only pregame bet I've got in this one. Alex, Minnesota, Dallas.
Yeah, same thing here. It's just rolling with the draw. I can't back Minnesota even at this big of a plus price with all the guys that they're missing right now. Certainly can't look to Dallas even in regulation. This game has draw season written all over it. So that's one of the first bets I made today was grabbing the draw here. It's the only thing I have.
No doubt. No doubt. They did win in Dallas earlier this year, so I would definitely lean Minnesota before Dallas at this price. But I'm just sticking to the draw here. Perlo, what do you think here? Wild Stars.
Yeah, I'm definitely on you with the draw. I'm actually going to take draw first period too. I think this starts. It's really hard to get inside on Minnesota right now, the way they're playing. You got to give props to Hines. He's really got these guys playing tight in the defensive zone. And the Stars are struggling right now. And I don't think, especially in the first period, that's going to change. So I'm going to take under 1.5 first period as well. And I would lean Minnesota here. Ottinger has been like Markstrom this year, has really struggled. And if somebody's going to let a loose one in, it's probably going to be Ottinger. Plus 180, I might put a tiny smidge on that. But I think like a 2-1-3, like you said, 3-2 game or something like that. I do have no, I don't. I'll put it out here. I don't think it's going to be my bargain bin, but the type of game that Dallas is going to have to play to win this game is they're going to have to get inside and get some deflections. Gustafsson's playing extremely well, and they honestly don't have a lot of guys that do that. They have one though, and that's Marchment. So I like him to get a goal tonight at 310. So I don't know if that's going to be my bargain bin, but I do like him to pot one tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, he's certainly capable. Right now, he's still playing with Duchesne and Michael Granlund. He did score against Tampa a couple of games ago, and we'll see if he can find the back of the net here tonight. They need more from that Robertson, Hinson, Rantanen line. They've actually been kind of quiet here these last couple of games, so we'll see if they can kind of get things back up and running again for the Dallas Stars. My favorite Dallas prop is our guy Thomas Harley. I mean, he's just 2 goals against Philly. He got 2 of their 3 goals, the overtime winner. He's got 5 points in the last 3 games. We've talked about just what a great job he's done, you know, filling in and doing all the stuff that Miro Heiskanen had done for this team with Heiskanen injured. So there's no doubt Thomas Harley is my favorite prop look on that side of it. I'm going to go back to Ryan Hartman for the Minnesota Wild. You know, he's always someone that in a game like this, could see him maybe finding the back of the net possibly here for the Wild. All right, Detroit and Utah, final game of this Monday night slate. Utah minus 160, home favorite, 6 the total here in this game. the Red Wings, man, is a rough go for them right now. They are definitely a team that is quickly falling out of it. They're not out of it yet. They're still only 5 points back of Montreal, who have the second wild card spot. But they need some W's, period. I mean, it's that simple. They need to start putting some goddamn wins on the board, or else they are going to find themselves definitely out of it, this Detroit Red Wings team. And what's the problem, you ask, with the Detroit Red Wings right now? There's a couple of things. One thing is they're not scoring without the power play. 5-on-5 offense has really slowed up. If you look at it, they scored 3 goals against Vegas. 2 of the 3 came on the power play. Before that, they had scored 3 goals or 3 goals or less in 8 of their last 9 games. And actually 9 of their last 10, they've scored 3 goals or less. And the majority of those, they've scored 2 goals or less. So the Red Wings, with all this abundance of talent up front, DeBrincat, Kane, Larkin, Raymond. What's Raymond done? Raymond, can't find him with a telescope suddenly. What's going on there as far as his offensive production is concerned? Tarasenko and Ray Ferraro. If you watched the ABC game, Detroit Vegas Saturday, Ray Ferraro just carved Vladimir Tarasenko up for a soft-ass, pathetic defensive effort in front of his own net that led to a Vegas goal. He said, you better be committed more to the cause than that. And when you're not scoring, and he went after him. And I applaud Ray for that. Ray's one of the better analysts for that reason. He'll be critical when he needs to be, and he just went after Tarasenko. And that's the kind of effort that's bullshit at this time of year. Bullshit. To be given that kind of an effort defensively. But that's Tarasenko. If he's not scoring, he's not going to give you much of anything else. That's always been what his career has been all about for this Detroit, for this team, going back to when he was with St. Louis before that. And even the Florida year last year. I mean, he's a guy that, defensively, they had to drag it out of him, committing to playing away from the puck. And he just doesn't do it well enough or consistently enough, not even close. So now Detroit's struggling. That's one of the issues they're struggling. Not enough 5-on-5 offense. And the other issue is defensively, they're a mess, and they can't keep the puck out of the net. And they're giving up 4 goals and 5 goals on a routine basis. Penalty kill has not been great. Goaltending, you don't know what you're going to get. Certainly you don't have great confidence right now in either of Talbot or Lyon. And, of course, Lyon's the forgotten man now that they've got Mrazek. And it is going to be Peter Mrazek tonight, but it's almost like Todd McClellan's hesitant to just give this guy one game after another. And finally, he's going to get the opportunity here. He obviously gave up 4 in his last start against Washington. He's 2-2 in his last 4 starts. You got to hope, though, that he can't be any worse than Talbot. Let's be honest. Talbot's just had a really rough go at this point in time. So I like the call from Todd McClellan. It's the logical call. It should happen that Peter Mrazek starts. 2-2, 2.51 goals against, 901 save percentage for him in his 4 starts with the Detroit Red Wings. So we'll see how that plays out. Utah, meanwhile, you got to give Andre Tourigny a lot of credit because this team looked like they were fading, and now suddenly they've won 3 of their last 4. They had that bad loss to Edmonton, and a loss they probably shouldn't have had at Seattle, but they beat Vancouver 3-1 on the road. They come home, they beat Buffalo and Tampa Bay 6-4. Now, they did also take advantage of a Tampa team with Brandon Halverson in net the other night and kind of took advantage of that. And boy, was it good that I was on top of that, because once he got announced in net, we just jumped on over by Fecta and Utah team total over in that game and easy winners, all of them. Mrazek's better than Talbot. Yes, the team's got to commit to better defensive play in front of them as well. Are they going to be capable of doing that? That's going to be the big question, and that's what remains to be seen going into this particular game against the Utah Hockey Club. One thing I've noted, I definitely like the first period over here in this game. Full game over, I lean to that too, a little over by Fecta, but I'm going to see if I can find a 5.5, maybe in game, because right now you can't. It's 6 across the board pretty much with this total. But I like over by Fecta. Might wait to see if I can get a 5.5 in game, but over 1.5 first period. And Mrazek will be better and give him, I think, a little bit of a better chance goaltending-wise than Talbot, but I still like Utah team total here. You can get it over 3.5 plus 110. I find that's an offense that's playing great at the moment, certainly better when they got everybody healthy, and they do. You look at this Utah team, and other than, it's Connor Ingram, goaltender, and, Bortuzzo and Valimaki on the back end, up front, they're completely healthy right now, and it's shown with Cooley and Keller and Schmaltz and Gunther, and obviously Hayton, Krause, and look, Josh Doan scored the other night. Now that they got everyone healthy up front, they are a very capable offensive team. Vejmelka going to get another start. Vejmelka has started every game since February 22nd. So this is going to be his 14th straight start for the Utah Hockey Club in this one. And at some point you worry that, we saw 4 goals allowed to Tampa. We've seen now 3 goals, 4 goals allowed by Vejmelka, 3 of the last 5 starts. Like, the workload's catching up a little bit right now to Vejmelka. So that's another reason why I like the overs here in this game as far as the bifecta is concerned, along with that Utah team total. Alex, what do you think here? Obviously, it's another huge game on the slate tonight. This is for a 4-game card. You've got playoff implications with all of them, but especially the 3 of them, which we like to draw in, especially the Canucks game. And the Stars game I like the draw in, but this is the one I did not like the draw as much in, because I think Utah could get it in regulation, because I don't know if Detroit defensively is good enough to hold up for 60 minutes. But even this one, the draw is not a crazy option, in my opinion. I just don't like this draw as much as the other 3 games we talked about. Alex, what do you think here, Detroit, Utah?
Yeah, we're in agreement on that. This is the weaker of the 4 draws. I do have a piece at plus 330. But like I said, this is a spot where it's a tale of 2 questionable stories as far as goaltending is concerned. Of course, we know what's going on with the trio in Detroit, and they've all been a mess at the times. Mrazek's been the best of the 3. But then when you look ahead and what's going on tomorrow, where you got to play Colorado, if Mrazek's actually done well against Colorado, you probably should have stayed him for the Avs, and you should have ran Lyon tonight. But, like I said, it's just been kind of a back and forth deal with their goaltending. And like you said, with Utah, you talked about it with New Jersey trying to get their money's worth out of Markstrom. You think Utah's getting their money's worth already with that new contract they signed with Vejmelka? He's played damn near every game since he signed that extension. And, you wonder, okay, if Utah falls out of the race officially, you got to give him a rest at that point then. But even if you get back in the race now, how are you able to pace this? Say you go on a heater and he continues to start him. He plays with the last 20 of the 22 games in the season, and then he goes right into the playoffs. So Utah set himself up for a mess one way or the other, in my opinion, when you're running a goalie like that. This is a game where I like the over bifecta, but I'm going to grab it in game. Like I said, look for a 5.5. Try to get a little bit of a better price on the over 1.5. I don't think we're going to get a goal in the first 5 minutes. Maybe I jump in and grab that, at the beginning of the game if I feel like I wouldn't be able to get that 1.5. This is a great live game, and I definitely think this could be like the other games we were talking about, have the potential to go past 60 minutes.
You said it. Someone said it. There's no defense. Bruce, 100%. Ben Sherratt's a good defenseman. I like him. He's from Hamilton. How can I not like him? He's not a top pair guy, though. He is not a top pair defenseman. He's a good player, but he's not a top pair defenseman. They're trying to plug square pegs into round holes right now and hoping they fit on this Detroit blue line. They don't. Ben Sherratt's not a top pair defenseman. He's not. Sider has fallen off. He's another guy that doesn't play hard enough in front of his own net. I mean, in terms of physicality, taking out the opposing player. He's prone to breakdowns. He has not been quite as good since that very first year, that rookie year. And there's been something missing from Mo Sider's game since then. He should be a top pair defenseman, but he doesn't always in his own zone defensively play like that. Simon Edvinsson's got a lot of potential, but he's a young kid, and I like the kid, but he's still growing. That's a lot to ask of him in a playoff race like this. Simon Edvinsson. Justin Hall's not a second pair guy. Sorry, he's not. Justin Hall is not on a cup-winning team. This guy barely cracks the lineup. Maybe he fits as a 6th defenseman on a cup-winning team. Maybe a 6th defenseman. He's not a second pair guy. Not with anybody that's any good. And that's the problem here. Justin Hall's not a second pair defenseman. He should be a 5th, 6th defenseman at absolute most. And then you've got Jeff Petrie, who's slowing down. We know, his best days, probably are behind him. And Albert Johansson, who just got called up to the team a couple of weeks ago. That's not an NHL caliber blue line. You want to know why Detroit's having issues? Look at that. Look at that blue line. Hot mess. 1 through 6 right now. Guys that are in roles they shouldn't be in. Period. It's as simple as that. It's really that simple. Perlo, what do you think here? Detroit, Utah.
You're kinder to Sherratt than I am. I think he's a 5'6" at best. Yeah,
certainly not a top pair defenseman, and that's where he
Definitely
fucking
not.
is on this team.
Definitely
And I
not.
like the kid. He's from my
And you know
town.
what? He's a veteran
Yeah.
there. How do you like? I love Stevie Y. I had a poster of up on my wall. Everything. I still think he's probably. I don't understand the Sherratt thing. He's supposed to be a veteran. What do you do as a coach? You say, yeah, there's Sherratt. Just don't do what he does. Okay, just do the exact opposite of what he does. Yeah, they're young, they're green, they're in the middle of a playoff race where they. Stevie Y said that if they made it interesting coming down, like if they were close, that was a success this year. They heard that, so they've succeeded already. I love Utah here. I think Utah wins this. I like the over too, because I do think Detroit needs this game. Needs. This is like the game for them because they got Colorado tomorrow. And going on what Alex said there, why would you put Mrazek in now? Because the season's done if you don't. That's why. That's why you put Mrazek in now, and they know it. And it's done. Utah team total over. I love the over here because, like you said, Vemelka, good soldier, but you can't be playing this much. And Detroit is going to try as hard as they can. And like as you mentioned, they have no defense.
They have a good power play, Detroit. That's the one thing that's been good. The power play.
What are they going to do? And the power play. What are they going to do if they're going to try as hard as they can? Are they going to go shut down Utah? No. So I like over 6. I like team total over for Utah, and I like Utah probably in regulation. But I'm going to do like I did in Colorado, the Colorado-Montreal game. Utah is young as well. So when it gets down to it, I could see them getting pretty shaky in the third and maybe Detroit coming back here. So I'm going to take the draw and Utah in regulation, which is a weird combination. But if Utah gets to hold it off, they do. If not, if they get shaky and they're nervous and Detroit pots a couple or they give up, they start holding on to people and Detroit gets a power play, then they're probably going to score. So I could see both of those things happening here.
All right, good stuff. Great stuff. Great analysis as always from Perlo. As far as the props here in this game, there are still a few that I'm interested in on the Utah side. Josh Doan. I mean, I'm telling you what, Josh Doan. I've liked where his game's at. He scored the other night for them in the game, and certainly going to probably, I think, get some more opportunity, which is good to see. We'll see if that continues moving forward. For Detroit, look, you look at the lineups here for them. Larkin, Raymond, Kane, DeBrincat, they've got to be the guys. Those are your top offensive players. Those are the guys that have to get it done for you. Are they going to be capable of it? That's the big question. If you're looking for a value shot for Detroit, I'll give you one here because he's up there on the top line, Michael Rasmussen. Right now, Todd McClellan's got him with Larkin and Raymond on the top line for the Detroit Red Wings. So there's definitely some value with him tonight. Doesn't mean he's going to score, but you're getting a good price for a guy playing on the top line with him. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate over 500 viewers live watching on all the platforms. We appreciate that very much. And we appreciate all our Patreon members who will be joining us, or at least invited to join us, for our Ice Guys Patreon exclusive live betcast tomorrow night, Tuesday, March 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You must be a Patreon member to join us on the betcast and watch it live. So make sure you sign up. It's only $10 per month. That's it. And with it, you get access to all the bonus content, all the Patreon exclusive live betcasts, including tomorrow night. Our, of course, goalie charts, totals charts on the Patreon page, our daily betting cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. Live chat room is now up and running. Live betting chat room where we post some live bets. We're going to really start doing that going into April and throughout the playoffs as well. Definitely, personally, I'm going to be a lot more involved with putting the live bets there in the live chat room that's there for our Patreon members. And I love seeing the interaction. A lot of our Patreon members getting in that live chat that we've set up on the Patreon page and interacting, just talking hockey, shooting the shit. That's what it's there for. So we love seeing that. So make sure you sign up. Just $10 per month. Your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it rolling long term. So make sure you sign up before the betcast tomorrow night, so that you can join us for it. $10 per month at patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You got 2 days left for the free standard shipping on your orders. You hit the redeem button at the homepage, add all your items to your cart. Free standard shipping will be available to you at checkout. We've got everything in stock right now. We've got all the new merch in there as well. The Skinner shirt is back, all kind of stuff. So definitely check that out right now. 2 days left, free standard shipping. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
There you go. Make sure you check it out, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Take advantage of the free standard shipping. All right, we got best bets and bargain bin special of the night coming up in just a moment, right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Tailgaters Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page.
Shout out to all our great sponsors, including Boston Hemp Inc. on a solid fire Monday. Make sure you check it out. 20% off all orders on the website using the promo code ICEGUYS at bostonhempinc.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night on this 4-game Monday. Alex, where are you headed for the bargain bin special?
Yeah, let's go out to Newark, New Jersey. We got Vancouver taking on the Devils. You got a guy who has scored his last 2 games, and he's moving up to the top line yet again. And you can get him at plus 500. Available at BetMGM. I'm talking about Eric Howler of the New Jersey Devils. Get him anytime goal scorer, plus 500. Available at BetMGM. That is my Monday bargain bin special.
That's a good one. That definitely is. Eric Howler, plus 500 for the New Jersey Devils. Bargain bin special of the night for Alex B. Smith. Perlo, bargain bin special. What do you got?
I'm going to do 2. I can't make up my mind between the 2 of them. So, as I want to mention about the Detroit defense being so bad, they also are not very good on the penalty kill either. So, but I'm going to give Cooley is heating up. He came off his injury, and now recently he's looked absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go Cooley over 1.5 points at plus 170, I believe it was. Or sorry, plus 370, I believe it was. Yeah, plus 370. And I'm going to go to my man Monahan, Islanders' worst penalty kill in the league. Nobody scores on the power play better than Monahan. I'm going to take a power play point for Monahan at plus 350.
I like it. Good stuff there. I like both of those, actually. Bargain bin specials. Good calls there with both of them. My bargain bin special of the night for this slate. There's some good looks that I'm going to choose that I can go with here. I'm just looking to see if the one in the Vancouver game was, not quite bargain bin worthy. He's playing great. He played great against Philadelphia on Saturday. He's suddenly starting to shoot the puck a lot, and he's finding the back of the net with that shot. We're going to go, and someone we've obviously targeted for player props for a while. How about a little Thomas Harley, plus 520 for the Dallas Stars? I think he is live to find that back of the net tonight for the Dallas Stars. He got 2 of their 3 goals against Philly on Saturday. So Thomas Harley, Dallas Stars, plus 520. Let's go with that for bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets for this Monday. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, it feels like it's 2012 seeing this line, but we do have it. It's an over 5 minus 125 with Vancouver and New Jersey. And like I said, the goaltending has not been warranting that level of a total. So we're going to go over 5 with Devils Canucks minus 125. That is my Monday best bet.
All right, there you go. Vancouver, New Jersey, over 5, minus 120, as low as minus 126. Believe it or not, you can find with that Canucks Devils over for Alex B. Smith with his best bet. Perlo, best bet. What do you got?
With that rant I did earlier, it's in my soul to take Vancouver here, but I can't because it doesn't make sense. But like the other rant I did with Detroit's defense, I'm taking Utah team total over.
All right, Utah team total over 3.5, and
3.5.
you can get that at a pretty good price, upwards of plus 110. So a very good price with that for Perlo with his best bet. And my best bet for this Monday, this Islanders team, they're an over machine. I can't believe I'm saying that, but they are. 4 straight overs for the New York Islanders. And at DraftKings right now, you can find this full game total at 5.5. And they've been going over this number quite a bit lately. And I think the Jackets get a big-time offensive infusion tonight with the return of Sean Monahan. I think 5.5 is just a little bit too low here. We're going to go with the Jackets and the Islanders over 5.5, minus 130, which you can find at DraftKings. Jackets, Isles over 5.5 for my best bet here for this Monday card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. And again, we're looking forward to a great night of hockey, believe it or not, for just 4 games. These are all playoff implications galore, and hopefully it makes for some great hockey. Hit the like button on the way out. Patreon exclusive live betcast tomorrow night. Make sure you sign up on the Patreon page if you aren't already so you can partake in the betcast tomorrow night. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and for Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we're back with you tomorrow on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.